Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. It's just another beautiful day. I am sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to be away from the video. Wanted to make sure everything was tip top. But yeah, and I apologize for last week too, man. We had a lot that we wanted to talk about, and now that we're here. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. You know. Hmm. Hmm. Let's go.
Alright.
I mean, it happens. It's okay. I think I can hear you. Hold on.
Are you hearing me? What's going on? Not that bad. I'm not that bad. Thank you for having me again. I apologize for missing last week. Or last episode, sorry. It's been a little hectic. Had to handle some stuff, but for the love of gaming, I'm back here.
What?
So,
One second. One
uh,
second. I think I'm watching. I'm watching. I don't think I can hear you, gamer. I don't think I cannot. Literally, it's just blank, and he's talking. We can hear him,
That's what I'm saying, man. What's up with this?
and you can hear me, but we cannot hear you.
I had to go into Discord itself, into everything, and it
No, no, no.
refreshed.
It's for him for OBS. He's got to make sure that his
Oh, it's
audio.
OBS on his side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I don't think you guys were hearing me for a bit until I went back into Discord and it refreshed. So I don't know. You guys are the experts on that side.
Yeah. See, I'm hearing. I'm.
Are see like I'm yeah, I don't think I'm hearing him. I'm hearing you now. Yep,
I can hear you.
but uh hmm, that's your area of expertise, literally.
Well, while gamer
I
gets that going, I'll go ahead and talk to you guys for a second. There's some good stuff to talk about today. First and foremost, how is everybody doing on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday? I hope everybody's doing good. This is definitely season two, episode one for the love of gaming. Give them the love tonight.
Hey,
But
hey, we need views. We need views, man. We can't draw them away that quick.
but
But
um we want to get into a lot of things now for the love of gaming. What we mean by that is we want to talk about things that are getting our blood pressure levels high, right? Not in a bad way, in a good way, right? Our heart rate
oh,
is increasing,
my
right?
my heart racing just thinking of one game that fits that criteria.
And what game is that? Go ahead, give it to me.
Oof. Uh, I don't know if you guys. Well, I know you guys played it a little bit. Didn't really didn't really like it too much. I can never get you to join my lobbies anymore. But Apex Legends Battle Royale. It's actually celebrating its 3-year anniversary starting Tuesday. It's season 12.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually one game after you get your your love out of the way. Yeah, I have a few games that I wanted to talk about. Apex is one of them, but ooh, as soon as you said for the love of gaming and talking about the game itself, it got my blood boiling a
Listen, I'll
little
tell
bit
you what.
in a good way.
There's no game other than Call of Duty that will ever get my blood pressure up in a bad way.
Ah, the hackers.
It's not even the hacking. It's the game mechanics. Come on, Activision. What are you doing? That was a headshot, clearly. I'm just saying. But
See, that's why I like Apex, because I could just blame it
Apex.
on ping.
Apex is for the love of gaming because of the fact that Apex was one of those games, and I've mentioned this before, right? Apex, Respawn and EA did it so perfectly, right? They launched the game
Ah,
with no
it was
advertisements.
beautiful.
They launched it with no mention of the game. They didn't say anything about it. They didn't say, "Oh, you guys like superheroes and super abilities and battle royales. Here's a little mixed baby that we like to call
Yeah.
Apex." They just threw it out there. Not to mention, here's the kicker: it's free. Like
Yes.
what?
Yes.
You're telling me
Free to
there's
download,
that there's a game out
free to
there.
play.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was amazing. Now,
It,
to caveat on that as well, I'm not against Apex, right? It's not
mm,
like Apex is something that's a sour taste in my mouth. It's more so the
no,
fact it's more so the fact that it's hard as adults for me and you, right? Because we used to play all the time together,
there's a
right?
skill gap.
It's
There,
not. It's
you
it's
know,
it's it's more so. And you know what? I can understand skill gap. I get it. Some people are amazing at it, right? But my
no,
thing
not
is
even
like,
that. Like younger kids now, like they're so in tune with electronics because they're just raised on YouTube and iPads. Like
mhm,
as soon as they pick up a controller, like they didn't have to go from N64 all the way to PS4, PS5. It's PS4. Like they're used to 120 FPS and you know
yeah.
good good internet where we had dial up. Like that's what really that's where we learned from. So
Okay,
like
so you don't
mhm,
really need great internet for good gaming, right? So like, we've
no,
been force fed to think that we need a gigabyte speed of internet in order to play a good game, but that's not true. You only need
no.
like 10 to 15 megabits per
I live in
second, right?
Trinidad. I live in Trinidad, so like
So,
when I'm playing, right, I'm getting 50 megabytes. Like
mhm,
that's the top for where I'm at right now.
yeah,
And I mean, my ping is kind of high, but compared to other places in the world, like it's real good. It's
yeah.
like 100 ping and 80 ping around there. So it's the games are being built towards a not every it's accessibility, you know, and I think that's why Apex like really sticks out to me more than anything. Because
Mhm,
I mean, they have the ranked system, you know, they have some amazing players down here.
mhm,
There's an island with 1.2 million people, right?
yeah,
Maybe 200,000 are gamers, and
yeah.
there's people here that I know personally, and they're predators. They're in the top 500
Mhm.
in a game that has I think 175 million downloads now. So that's
Yeah.
an accomplishment. So
Mhm.
like me, one of my big goals is like these gamers down here that they're great, but they don't have exposure because they could only advertise to a million people or 200,000 people
Well, see,
realistically.
that's where the love of gaming comes into play, right? It's like I
Hmm.
start playing a game and I'm in love with it. So if a company is not able to reach a certain demographics, you want to know why everybody who wasn't able to see the commercial or the advertisement for that game is still playing that game? It's because I'm bragging about it. It's because I'm constantly playing it. It's because I'm streaming it. You know what I mean? That's the love of
Hmm.
gaming right there. It's like you've got so
It's
many
passion.
people that are so into something, you know what I mean? I can almost guarantee, look, listen, there's so much love for certain games. Like you mentioned a game and people are already like sweating, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Like
gotta get the tissues and
like
stuff,
you
gotta
gotta
wipe their
understand
brow.
how certain things come about. What's going on stream? I know I haven't been able to be heard. I've been having multiple technical difficulties today. That's why you don't see a webcam up. My webcam apparently has gone fishing. So if those who don't know what this voice is, this is your friendly neighborhood gamer, Mr. Gamer Next Door, and I'm always coming at you live from a neighborhood near you. And so to kind of double dutch into this conversation, right? The love of gaming. I think that's why you see certain communities driven years later after they're quote unquote done, right? So like for instance, look at the StarCraft. StarCraft was what came out in
Mhm.
1998, right? If you look at any Blizzard game, a lot of times it's a super long time before they come out with a new one, right? They usually
Yes,
have
it's
a
replay value.
yeah, they usually have a lot of. I will say they usually have a diehard fan base the way they build their games, and to the point where, as far as life cycles of games, you see a longevity over there that you generally don't see. Now, of course, I'm talking about, and this is no knock of any sort to either company, but this is before the Activision Blizzard. I'm talking about when it was just Blizzard.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, when you had StarCraft, think about how long did it take for Diablo 2 to come out versus Diablo 1? And then again on Diablo 3, how long did it take for Diablo 3 to come out, right? We're talking about
Oh yeah.
3 iterations over what?
Mm-hmm.
20 years?
20
Mhm.
years, I believe.
Yeah.
25 years.
What about here's another one too. I mean, not even Blizzard, but what about God of War? Remember, 1 and 2 came out like bam, bam, and then what happened with 3?
Yeah, they took their time on it. So but you know what I'm saying? So you got to think like you still had when they had LAN parties and all those other stuff going on, right? That was
That
StarCraft
was
at the
not that
finest,
long ago.
Mm-hmm.
right? So StarCraft, you know, is one of the epitomes. Or if you look at something that's a little bit closer, right, to today's day and age, like the DayZs. Like how many mods do you see for communities continuing? You got phenomenal mods. You want to talk about a mod? Let's talk about the what is it? The Skyrim mod, right? That became a video game in its own right. It's a literally a mod
Jesus.
that became a video game on its own, released on the PSN right now, right? That was originally a mod for Skyrim, right? So
I would like to interject for 5 seconds.
Go ahead.
You spoke about that. I don't know if anybody here like watches The Mandalorian or anything Star Wars related.
I do
But,
know about Star Wars lore, but not to the extent of most.
The Disney Plus aspect, like they're tying in a lot of lore, and you spoke about like indie stuff. I know we love indie developers.
We do.
Absolutely.
There was somebody that took deep fake technology that was
God.
created by somebody that got paid millions of dollars by Disney. And well, the Mandalorian season 1 or season 2 finale, I believe, it ended with a cameo from Luke Skywalker, young Luke Skywalker, and it was not that good. It was great. It, like as a fan, it was great to see it, but as a nerd breaking it down, you could see the flaws.
Was it the execution
And
versus the idea?
It was
No,
it was
it was just tough. It's something very difficult to do.
yes.
Because
So
it's a new technology.
it's not a new technology. It's old. It's
No.
just hard to be able to put. So this is what happened, right? The hard part about, I guess, quote unquote, deep faking, right, is that you have to have somebody with a facial capture, right? Be a character that's eventually going to get covered by a facial program that's using CGI, right? So you have to turn one tiny aspect of a person into CGI, but the rest of the body is real, right? So
Yeah, it's
so
it's a
that's
puppet pretty
hard.
much.
It's hard.
So
So
just
like what I was reading about, right, on Reddit especially, because
mm,
Redditors love to talk about anything Star Wars, and that was the
yes,
biggest
it's a
thing
great
that was
community.
criticized in Reddit was the lack of precision on that part because it was such a
Y-
great scene to
You know what
see.
though? Star Wars community. I'm part of it. I've been part of it since I saw episode. Since yeah, I'm gonna age myself a bit, but when I saw episode 4, I'm gonna leave it at that. But it's a toxic community. So like what we
It's
have
not
to
toxic.
consider.
But you
Oh, it's
have to
very toxic. Like
listen,
when you've
listen.
been in it and
It's
you've read
of,
the books and stuff,
of
and you
course,
come up against
but I
somebody
wouldn't
that
I
read the
wouldn't
books.
I have to disagree. I'm part of it too. It's not toxic. It's just that we have certain expectations. The fact that George Lucas didn't come out with episode 1, 2, and 3 first, he specifically said was because we weren't in the
We weren't
in
ready for it.
yes, with special effects.
Yeah,
Special effects wise, we just weren't
it
ready for it.
it
And I get it
worked.
and I loved it.
It
And
worked. I love it.
So let me
the
ask you a
biggest
question.
Um,
problem
I'm
go ahead.
sorry to
but
cut y'all
to
off.
get
Let me ask you a question.
mhm.
Sorry, because I feel like this is a very important
We got
aspect.
off track a
Right
little
now,
bit,
that's fine. That's fine. And
tiny
people,
bit, but yeah,
people love the organicness of our show, so that's fine.
Mhm.
yeah.
So, what my question is, right? So, love versus passion versus toxicity. Which one is it?
Mm.
It's a very fine line. Are you so in regards to this
See,
community?
there's a bit
So,
of both
yeah,
in
but listen,
or all three.
in regards to this community that we're talking about, and I'll wrap it back around to gaming eventually. But in
Mhm.
regards to
Of
this
course.
community we're talking about, right? And the Reddits and the subreddits and all that stuff, right? Is you say it's toxic, right, Devil? Right? Mac is like, no, it's not toxic. So what I gather from that is he's saying it's passion, right?
Mhm.
There
So
is.
so so my question is it love, right? So do you love something so much that you hate to see where it's at? Is it
Yep.
toxic because
That's exactly it.
everything that you remember reading did not play out like you thought it should have in your head? So now anything that's against anything you thought, right? Which how realistic or unrealistic that might be, makes you become toxic, right? And not even willing to conform or to change or to even listen,
See,
right?
this
Or
is
is it
why
passion?
I love this podcast because you guys have the same mindset. It's that exactly. It's for years. We had episode 4, 5, 6, and then there's a thousand something books. There's over 1,000 books. So like if
Decades.
if you were
Not
reading the
years,
book,
decades.
is over decades. Like since before the movies, like he had. So
Sorry, I just
we've
have to
had
chime in.
20 years, 30 years of reading these books, and we're like, all right, Luke
Years.
has, spoiler alert, Luke marries
An
Palpatine's
assassin that's
assassin
chasing him
like
and has
twice.
kids with
She
her.
tries to kill him. She tries to kill him multiple times. He has a kid with her, kids with
No,
her,
kids,
sorry.
kids,
Yeah,
kids,
multiple
multiple
children.
kids. Yeah. Go ahead, keep
Um,
going. I'm sorry.
Ben Solo doesn't exist. They're twins, force sensitive twins. One becomes a Sith Lord, the other one
He's a
strikes him
Jedi.
down.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
it's great. It's
But
great material,
it's
and they
the
drew on
twins.
it for
The
these.
twins are a boy and a girl. It's not like they're both boys. It's not like they're both. It's a girl and a
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
So when you read it, you're
yeah.
like, oh, that's Kylo Ren and that's Rey. Like that's where they got
Yes.
the inspiration for
Yeah.
that. A dyad
But they
instead of
ruined it.
twins.
They ruined
Yeah,
it.
that's Kathleen
But
Kennedy. That's
but
where my passion will come
here
in, and
here's
I
here.
I can't
here
go into that.
here's my other thought too, like, and this is where I'm gonna wrap it into the video game aspect, right? I can mention another community, and no, I'm not talking about Star Trek. I can mention another community here where
Is it
it's
Harry
exactly the
Potter?
same. Absolutely Harry Potter. Look, listen, if it's not to expectation, it's not that
We
we're
riot.
toxic, it's just that we're upset, right? So like on
Yeah.
a basic level, right? One of the biggest things that I'm upset about the Harry Potter franchise as a whole is that they significantly throw it in your face on how much Harry Potter is the protagonist hero of the story. But if you read the books, he's not so
flawed.
much a hero. He's like, the only thing that he has going for him is he's just brave. He just, like, it doesn't
That's
matter
what
what
it
the
is.
situation is. He's just like, all right, I'm going to go fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally what his whole thing is. Ron is the one that's like, hold on, let's think about this. You know,
He's
tries to like
logical,
put
and Hermione is intelligent.
Hermione is the intelligence, right? So like for and that's another thing. Hermione was butt ugly in the first book. And in the last
Yeah.
book, she was drop dead gorgeous. Her transition as a character was so important. But I mean, not
Yeah.
even on the main trio. Let's go back into like things that are so important in the book, right? So Dobby doesn't have the bigger part that he does in the books.
Oh,
Creature doesn't
Winky.
have the bigger part as he does in the books. Ferenz doesn't have
Regulus.
Ferenz.
His
Peeves.
prophecy in the
Peeves.
first book. Peeves doesn't exist.
Peeves
know,
does
it's tough.
exist, but the fact that nobody understands who Peeves is a problem. Peeves is so
He's
pivotal in the Harry
Yeah.
Potter series. Literally, the only people that Peeves likes are the
Fred and
Weasley
George.
twins, and that's only
Yeah.
because he likes the fact that the Weasley twins messes with other people too, because that's what he does, right? So like the fact that they literally ripped so much out of the books to make the
Yeah,
movies
it hurts
bothered
as
the
fans.
community,
Well,
right?
well, to
Yeah.
me, this is what I say because I'm also a part of that community, right? So,
I
Mhm.
would never have guessed that
yeah.
in a
I
million
would have.
years.
I would have.
No,
Absolutely.
I mean, now that you say it, I could see you dressing up with the red hair and the freckles.
Well, I'm
you
not. I'm
know.
not dressing up, but it doesn't mean I'm not a part of. I don't cosplay, but it doesn't mean I'm not a part
Well,
of the
you are
community.
not part of the community.
Right.
Listen, he was waiting for his letter to Hogwarts too. Shut up.
So at the end of the day, right, you have to be logical, right? Because to be honest with you, if you wanted everything in the books to be in a media form, you would never pick movies. You would
Absolutely
pick
not.
a TV show.
Absolutely.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's
I know
that's the
me and
only
Red Mac have
medium.
talked about our idea for that.
That is literally the only medium where I could slow play and take what's in the books and transfer it
Yes.
over into a video like medium. You can't do it in a movie
Now,
setting.
Absolutely.
I'm happy that Red Mac brought up Harry Potter because Dark Legacy is coming out. And
Dark
I don't know
Legacy.
if
Are you talking about
Hogwarts
Hogwarts
Legacy?
Legacy?
or Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah.
Woo! I was
Mr.
about
I'm
to
looking
say,
at-
boy, you better come correct.
No.
Come on now.
To be, I have the first episode's little draft up here where I was talking
Oh,
about
oh,
Gauntlet
gotcha.
Okay.
Dark
Yeah,
Legends.
I got you.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Just so I don't repeat anything. But yeah, so the Hogwarts Legacy where like you could choose to become a dark wizard. Like that might take up that might replace Apex for me. I don't know yet, or I might just go Avada Kedavra some people when Apex isn't working for me.
I'm
But,
down for it, mostly because of the fact I want to see the route that they take. Right? I want to see, like, if you're telling me that I can be any type of wizard, that I can be dark, that I can be an aura, that I can be a Death Eater, that I can
Yo,
be
Death
a
Eater might
freaking
be
Ministry of Magic wizard, right? Let's be realistic here. If we want to be really realistic, I
Yeah.
want to be in the Ministry of Magic. You're telling me that I can do all of these things. All right, then I better be able to Avada Kedavra the hell out of anybody I want.
Exactly.
Or
They say you're able to.
To be honest with you, though, let's be real. Hogwarts Legacy doesn't have to be great. It just has to be
It
decent.
just needs to be.
And
see,
no,
that's
listen. What other Hogwarts game you got? What other
You
Harry
don't have a
Potter game?
Hogwarts game.
What other
You
Harry
don't
Potter
have a
game you
Hogwarts
have
game.
other than the Quidditch?
Listen,
Right?
listen, don't you dare
What,
forget
Lego?
about the Lego.
I understand that,
Bruh,
right? I get that,
bruh.
right? But you
Listen,
have to understand this.
Also,
Nope.
the Prisoner of Azkaban, the official video game for the movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, and Order of the Phoenix were hands down top tier video games. Amazing, because you could literally learn spells. You could use the analog sticks to flick the wand.
Who-
You could play
who
Quidditch.
talks about
you could
them?
do all of that. I mean, people in the community. Absolutely. I'm in a Facebook group right now that's called Hogwarts Legacy, and they consistently bring up the Harry Potter
I don't
movie franchise video games.
open world
Always.
Harry Potter game does not have to be amazing. Open world.
Absolutely not. I agree. At the same time, they have Hogwarts Mystery on mobile,
I get that.
and it's still a top tier game.
It's still good games, but you're talking about open world. You have nothing to pitch it against.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If they
Mhm.
as long as it's playable, right? And there's certain wickets they hit, they'll be fine.
I agree. I think the first three things that they need to make sure are flawless upon launch. In my personal, not recommendation, my personal idea, right?
Yeah.
They should make it crossplay automatically. Automatically. If they don't, that's a fucking stupid idea. Two, they need to make sure that the servers can handle the amount of people that are going to be playing this game. Hands down. And they have to make sure that the user interface is smooth. Doesn't matter if the story sucks. It doesn't matter if the quest sucks. It doesn't matter if the animation sucks. As long as it's not a pain in the butt to play or figure out, and you can play with your friends, it doesn't matter. That's where I'll agree with you on. But as
it would
far
be
as-
interesting if they took, like you could do a Fable style, right?
I could see that.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that would completely work in that space.
Or like Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. You
Or you know what? You know what they'll probably do too? Like if you really think about it, not even in an aspect of how it plays, but just how the social aspect works. RuneScape. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
literally the world market could be like the Gringotts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they also have to we have this game that's coming out, and we've all put this expectation on it of what we want to see. And I think this is why the team making the game has not really released anything on it, because they don't want to put in an expectation for somebody and then get backlash for it, right? They literally just posted a poster, and you have so many people that are like picking apart every little tiny image in that poster.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll tell you what, I think as soon as that game comes out, the first thing I'm going to do is literally 12-hour stream off rip, right? I want to make sure that I want to see how I get my letter. I want to know how the Diagon Alley experience goes. I want to know how transportation goes. I want to know if there's like a part where you get to chill on the Hogwarts Express and you get to order candy and stuff and socialize with other people and talk about like, yo, hey man, this is my first time playing this game. What's up? Yeah. Oh, you're a first year? Cool. I'm a third year. You know, like I want to see how this is going to play out. Now, mind you, at the same time, is it going to be one of those games like, okay, so imagine it is way too realistic, but imagine at a certain time every day you have to go to that class, and every time you
Yeah.
miss that class, you know what I'm
I
saying?
skip school all the time. I skip school in real life. I
Something
can't.
like that.
Yeah,
I think it's
listen.
going to be something schedule based. I mean, obviously, you know, it can't
That's
be
tough.
too realistic like that.
I get it.
It
I
can't
get
be
it.
that, but you will have to meet obligations probably.
So-
Yeah, absolutely.
So
If you don't meet those obligations, it's gonna change how you're seen. You become unreliable. type of thing.
Or that affects your grade, right? So like you have to learn Wingardium Leviosa by, let's say the game comes out March 1st. So in the first 2 weeks of the game launch, you have to learn Wingardium Leviosa. If you don't learn it by that
Yeah.
time, you lose a letter grade.
Or-
I
or you
don't
have to-
foresee it going that way, and the reason why is because and this is just my personal opinion, of course. I don't know jack crap about anything that's about to come out, right? But however, I just think that there's a difference between games. People talk about realism all the time in video games, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they
You don't
still
want
have
it
to
be
be
too
fun.
Realistic.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I gotta log on at 2 o'clock every day to attend class for 30 minutes, why am I not in
hmm
college? Right?
It's again,
Like,
this
like,
is how
I'll give
I'm
you that one. I'll
imagining it
give you that
works.
one.
I mean, like Skyrim. You have the open world where you could run around, start a quest. So
Hmm.
maybe it's something like, all right,
Hmm.
you go into charms. So
Yeah.
that's where you learn, um, all the different offensive and defensive
yeah.
charms. So maybe buy the battle pass type of thing. This is basing it off of all the games that I play. But yeah,
Mm,
the achievement system. So in the open world, like that's where you learn Wingardium Leviosa. They don't tell
hmm.
you where you learn it. You have
Hmm.
to go and explore, and all right, you learn Expelliarmus, um, helping Hagrid pick up pumpkins, and Malfoy comes and Hagrid's like, oh hey, look, he gives you a hint. This is the charm, and you have to
Hag-
learn it on the fly. You
Hagrid.
know,
So I don't think Hagrid's in it. I think this
well,
is
I
before
mean, it's set way
this.
before. I'm just
Yeah,
giving
this is way
examples for
before.
people
I
that are
think this
tuning
is
in.
gonna be when
This is
Dumbledore's
before.
still an professor.
Yeah,
That'd be
he's gonna
cool.
be your professor. So
Yeah.
this is
So.
Look, all I want,
Grindelwald is the dark villain in the
Hmm.
background of everything.
all,
Hmm.
So
all, all
the more messed up choices you make, like you might lean more towards joining him.
man,
You know?
Hmm.
all I want is them to make it like, just do Pokemon X Bully and it'll work.
Oh my God, have you guys played Arceus yet?
I have
I know
not. I've
I'm
been
saying it
watching a lot
wrong.
of streams on it, but
Like
yeah,
it looks
it's
so good. If they did that with Harry Potter, where I'm just
uh
like, oh hey,
mm,
look, these are all the spells I unlocked as I leveled up, and I could just walk by somebody and be
I
like,
feel I I feel
stupefy.
I feel like if we're going to be sincere about this, right? My expectations are a little high.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
But I
very
feel
high.
like
This is
if you
this is
learn
like
if you learn a
Marvel
spell, right?
3D for you.
If you learn a spell, right, and you have to use a certain pattern to do the spell, I feel like the percentage of success should be based on how well you traced.
That's tough.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
see, that's gonna ruin a lot of stick,
That's
It
a
tough.
lot
won't.
of
It won't.
You
It
got
won't
you
because
gonna be
Fallout.
sitting
You
there
see, you
writing
see that in
spells on,
Fallout?
in your notebook.
Yeah, in
no,
in
no, 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 no,
in
no. I'm saying it could show you, but you have to do it properly. Think of it. Okay. So, all right. If you're gonna say Pokemon X Bully, I'm gonna say Pokemon X Bully X Skate 3.
That's tough. I understand what you're saying, and I knew what you said before you made the Skate 3
I
reference,
think while
right?
while you're learning the spell, you have to trace it, type of thing. But the more
I'm
that you
perfectly
use
okay
it,
with that.
it'll be like a spell list that you bring up. So Fallout, you
It's
shoot a
like the
gun
VAT
at
system.
somebody's head, and there's a 25% chance that Avada Kedavra is gonna work as you're aiming for his
So
head.
okay, then this is my question:
30.
is because okay, if you're doing some type of PvP, how do you block that if someone's using a VAT system?
Ooh, yeah, that's kind
Mm,
of fucking hard. Yeah, you can't use a VAT system
well,
with something like this. With Harry Potter, I mean, PvP. I feel like so. Okay, so there's gonna be
but is
several
it
different aspects
PvP
of it, right?
or
There's gonna be genuine dueling, and then there's gonna be like, yo, we're in the dark woods. You're screwed now, boy.
see?
Like, what's good?
Now
You know what I mean?
that's where the tracing of the spells when you first practice it comes in. And like, all right, in the real world, walking around, you just bring up a spell list and you aim it at somebody with a percentage. So the higher percentage, the more XP you have with
Now,
Expelliarmus, the more
now
effective it might be.
here's
But
here's another
the
thing
other
that I.
person could work on their defense. So if they have high defense and you have low offense, you have a less likely chance. So that's where
Yeah.
the VAT system comes into play.
Uh,
That's what I'm thinking.
I think that would be
I have
more
I have
so.
high expectations too. Like I
I feel like
want.
that would be more so with herbology and potions. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just made a luck potion, so the chances of you hitting me are pretty slim to none because I'm
Well, I
I
probably
mean,
think
gonna.
bringing magic
herbology
back.
should come into play if so what happens is you're able to find herbs that other people can't to make potions to help you out. right?
Yeah.
So like health
Yeah. See, like
potions and
your
all
skill
types of
set.
other
Yeah, your
stuff.
skill set
Or
helps you find
herbology
different
to
things.
like how Neville found gillyweed.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you see what I'm saying? So it would be
Yeah.
something that you can not only find it, but you also have access to recipes and
You have
things
the
like that.
specialty. Yeah.
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 But
If you're
See, but see
becoming an
that's a lot
aura,
because then you'll have like what Defense Against the Dark Arts, you have Divinity, you have
that's a lot.
potions, spells and
there's a
But
lot.
that's
potions
what y'all
and
want.
poisons
Deep dive.
and
That's what I want.
yeah,
Hey, I
and
didn't
that's
get my
great.
Hogwarts
No,
letter.
that's what I'm
all
saying.
right?
That's great. But you're looking at an aspect of now we're looking at a skill tree, right? So like how like whenever you catch a Pokemon and then you catch their IVF, right? You see their little not diamond. What is it? Oh my god, what's a six-sided shape? I'm brain farting right now.
Hexagon or octagon?
That's a octagon. Hexagon is. I thought hexagon. Yeah, hexagon. There we go. Sure.
I was like, yeah.
If you look in, like, especially for Arceus, right? In Arceus, right? Whenever you catch a Pokemon in the bottom left
Oh,
corner,
yeah, it
there's
has-
that
it
little
has the
attack,
double-
defense, and whatever. It's like a
Yeah,
little
it has the
hexagonal
web.
bubble, and there's like a color. There's like a little. It's like a graph, right? So it like
It's a
there's
spread
like a
chart
shape
there.
inside of the hexagram that
And
shows
it's the
you
strength.
how much of each skill that they have. So imagine, per se, in those skill sets, you're taking that hexagon, and now each side is now a class or a special art, right? So like you got
That's
defense
most
against the dark
likely
arts,
what it's gonna be.
which would be
And the
cool,
more you
right? So
lean
like
towards
kind of like
something,
with
that's your
kind of like
career.
with Final Fantasy as well, right? Like the orb tree, right? Where like once you hit a certain amount of defense, you get to unlock this ability. Just like with once you hit level 6 in potions, now you can make Polyjuice potion. You can make the luck potion. You can make a potion that makes you fall in love. That things like that. And then with herbology, certain things like you can figure out the difference between gillyweed and hemp, or things like that, or defense against the dark arts. You're good at coming up with whatever spell is necessary, and not, I guess, spell is necessary, but you're strong against creatures, things like that. And then I feel like this is going to be a game. We have so many expectations. Like I was saying, it's just like it's hard for us to put all this into perspective. Now, this is one thing I will say. I'm probably overshooting the moon with this, but with them taking so long and with it coming out on multi-platforms, I would really love to see. And I hope it's third person. I mean, not third person. I hope it's first person, because I would really love to see them roll out a VR aspect of it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about.
I would
that
love to see
VR
that because
aspect.
PlayStation has PlayStation Move, right? Or
Mhm.
PlayStation VR. And on top of that, you have Oculus, you have Vive, you have Steam, you have HTC, not HTC, Samsung's. I mean, there's so many different VRs now, Oculus, and not only that, now you can use, from what I've been seeing with new games now, apparently Oculus is allowing other controllers from other devices to be used with Oculus. Not to mention, what about vice versa, right? What if Xbox Series X or Microsoft says, hey, by the way, you can use Oculus on the Series X or S? Like, what? Are you serious? You know what I mean?
That's dope.
That would be amazing. So imagine, and then on top of that, that would literally roll out or make the metaverse so much more amazing, right? If we're talking on a Mark Zuckerberg level, right? But yeah, it's just, there's a lot, and it's I know I just went off on a
There's a
tangent.
lot
We
we're
all
looking
did with Harry
forward to.
Potter.
Yeah, and I was just gonna.
Yeah,
I was
the
again.
passion.
I was waiting for the double dutch moment where I could jump in, But it's funny. We talked about the love of gaming, and I was just gonna say clearly here at one more term, we love our Harry Potter and our Harry Potter IPs and stuff like that. So
there's a lot of expectations to be met.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to come
And,
out this
regardless
year.
of what it is, we will love it. We will
Yeah.
love it. We'll complain about it, but we will still play it and complain, and there's no denying that. That's how
It,
much love there is for that. That's
yeah.
passion.
It's
So
there's a
check this
rumor.
out. I got you. I got you. Check this out, right? So um it says despite us not knowing when Hogwarts is Legacy is coming out, it's still on track to release this year, right? And it could be coming out, right? New evidence suggests that the open world Harry Potter could be coming out as soon as September of this year, right? It says
Mhm,
the Rawling
mhm.
That
Library,
would be to time
a
it.
literary a website that is devoted to promoting the life and works of J.K. Rowling, officially announced a release date for the official art book of Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm,
According to the website, the art and making of Hogwarts Legacy will release on September 6th.
Mm,
Coincidentally, September 1st is Back to Hogwarts Day, which marks the day when the fictional characters of the Wizarding World return to Hogwarts.
mm.
yeah,
So,
and the new movie that would be coming out as well.
so you know,
What is it?
Yeah,
The
Secrets of
Secret
Dumbledore.
of Dumbledore.
Hmm.
Which even like I was gonna bring this up earlier, but I mean even if that's not a good movie, um, looking back at Fantastic Beast and Crimes of Grindelwald, they really had nothing to do with anything that we know about besides a few paragraphs in a mention from about certain individuals, and those movies are wildly successful.
yeah.
So I don't see the gaming community is more, it has more money flowing into it than Hollywood.
Hmm.
So I know that this game is going to be wildly successful on so many levels, and it's going to hit that nostalgia factor,
Yeah.
and it's going to be something that next year for the 1 year anniversary of that launch, you know, hopefully we'll still all be able to team up, and I know for a fact that if I get to Avada Kedavra anybody, I'm doing it. So hopefully
Hmm.
they let us team up
Again,
because I
we,
know
we
you
we
guys would
already
play
know
it
you're gonna be
properly.
evil.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna be evil. I like being good, right? So, and I think if we're gonna talk about a season pass, let's be realistic. Don't make it a season pass. Make it a house pass, right? So, like,
Yeah,
if you're in
like
Hufflepuff, your ass is getting everything yellow. Sorry.
yeah, obviously,
I'm
You know what I'm
but
excited.
I
I'm
saying?
mean,
excited about the Sword in the Hat process.
Absolutely.
you're working towards head boy, or you know what I mean,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
universe. So
That
all
that would
that
be
stuff
cool if
has
like
to.
you could become like a prefect and you could be like the head boy or whatnot by doing certain things and like but it's in the server so people know who you are as a head. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
you
And
know, and
everything you do literally is watched. I get it.
like
But you also
that
have
would
to
be so
understand
dope.
being a prefect, you can't be a prefect till you're a fifth year.
Yeah, true.
You
Well,
know
I
you know what
mean,
I'm saying?
we want
So
replay value in a video game, so what better replay value than like you know it takes 3 months for you to get through a year. So it
I
takes you
mean,
an
it depends
entire
on
year
longevity.
to
If you're
get
talking
through the
about
game, you know?
if you're talking about longevity and you got to look at their release schedule, right? So if you're talking
Yeah,
about
you know, it's
longevity and
gonna
how
be
long they're gonna
timed and
release
released.
things, then you know that might you might
I
have to wait a year.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be like real world time based type of thing where
mm,
Kind of like
I don't think
I'm
so.
was it Animal Crossing?
I don't think it's gonna be.
yeah,
I think, and this is just me. I think the more you put into the game, the higher year you are, right? It's not I don't think it's gonna be a free to play, pay to win kind of thing. I think it's gonna be a free to play, not free to play, but you know what I mean? Like it's a grind. It's a grind. You
I
can't expect to only play once every 2 weeks and expect to be a third year.
no, well, I mean it's not gonna take. Well, that's the thing. If you know you could not put in the time to the school, and you know you that would reflect. And
Hmm.
when the time is coming for end of year, you know your delinquency is costing your house points, and
Hmm.
it's costing your relationships in your house, in your you know your
Yeah,
alliance,
yeah,
and you could get kicked out. So that would force you on a different path in the universe.
True.
You know, so
True.
I mean, I love this thing. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
grew up
Yeah.
reading it.
This
I
is
read
gonna
the
be.
first book in 2 hours. You know,
Yeah.
that was 2001. I
Yeah.
read the
It
book
was.
while my mother was
Mhm.
grocery shopping. I was
Well,
sitting
so
in the car reading
book
the book.
1, 2, and 3 all came out at the same time. They
Yeah, well, I
they
picked up
all
the
came out
first
at the
book and
same
I
time.
finished it before she cashed out. So I just told her like, buy all three, please.
So
I'll
so
do dishes for a month.
for when they first came out, she sold the first 3 books. That was like a huge thing. It was like,
It
here,
took her
get the
10
first 3
years.
books. Get the first 3 books, buy them together. It's the same price as buying the first book. Like, here's the promotion,
Yep.
like just buy it. Boom. And then every time she came out with another book, I was there at the release.
I did
Like
the midnight releases with my
every
mother. Like
time. Borders, Barnes and Nobles, it did not matter. I was there. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't know midnight releases were a thing until I did this for Harry Potter, and then like video games, I got
mhm,
into that at the same time, and I was like, wait, they do this for a book? Do they do this
everything.
for video games?
Everything. Yeah, of
Like,
course
I
they
mean,
do.
I remember
You know what I mean?
I was
Like,
9 years old when I first read this book, so
yeah.
like I was just fresh into it. This is right
Mhm,
after I moved up to America, so
yeah.
that was completely different. So I was like, oh
Mhm,
man, Harry Potter. Like
yeah.
I'm reading the book. Yeah, I'm reading the third book while I'm waiting
Yeah.
for the fourth to release.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And
So,
so
So,
we got
so
way off
yeah,
topic.
yeah,
no,
Where
it's
where did
fine.
we
and
No,
that's
start
fine.
this
this?
is the love of gaming. So
That's
I
how
was
it works.
actually,
I love it.
I was actually gonna get into another topic, just real quick, just a little, I guess infomercial, not really infomercial, but so I think another thing that I'm really excited to see, I want to see if Hogwarts Legacy is gonna run on Unreal Engine 4 or 5, right? So I did a lot of research, deep diving. Gamer and I were talking about it, and he said I had liberty to go ahead and do whatever research I wanted on it since he was not real savvy on the engine aspects of gaming, right? So Unreal Engine is the platform that creators use to make a game look as realistic as they can, right? Not every game uses Unreal Engine, but the ones that do, you can tell, right? So like Gears of War 5, you can tell that that's Unreal Engine 4, right? It is flawlessly amazing, right? The graphics are great, the graphics are awesome. I did some deep diving into it, and apparently the rumors from what I'm hearing is the first game that's going to get released on Unreal Engine 5 is going to be Gears of War 6. Now,
Oh,
Xbox exclusive. I get it. That's awesome. At the same time, I don't know if that means that we won't be getting Hogwarts Legacy on Unreal Engine 5 or not. But just to give you a little idea of Unreal Engine 5, whenever you load into a game, that processing power required to bring up all the graphics of a game, you know, it's high, a high demand for example, Gears of War 5 or Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, obviously, it's different for PC than it is with consoles. But if you're looking at it from a creative standpoint, you're creating a video game, right? You want to make sure that everything looks properly in tune, aesthetically and mechanically when somebody plays a video game. So you have so many things to worry about. Okay, if somebody takes a step on a staircase, are they taking a step on the actual step? Or is it just the animation of taking a step on the staircase, right? So with Unreal Engine 5, they've increased the amount of geometric shapes you can put into a scene without increasing the amount of space and memory required for it. This is called
That's wild.
Nanite. Now, Nanite is letting you use all these different geometrical shapes that, for example, if you're in a cave, right, rocks don't have a certain formation. But anytime, like, you load into a cave with Nanite in Unreal Engine 5, you've got trillions upon billions of little tiny geometric shapes that are making the surface of the cave. So yeah, even if there's a flat surface, you still got thousands of little tiny triangles because now that environment is damageable. So with that being said, you shoot or you smack or you throw something and it breaks off a piece of that wall, that nanite technology is going to take that into consideration. So the piece that falls off will take those pieces of geometric shapes and it's not losing any memory or space. It's just moving it, right? It's allowing us to see that in pixelated form in high quality resolution. Now, another thing that's really important too is that there are a lot of games that people might not understand that this is actually a super pivotal thing in gaming, but lighting in a situation for any type of horror game, mystery games, lighting is so crucial, right? So like, let's say you're playing a vampire game and the vampire can't touch you because you're in the sun. Well, let's say the sun sets. Realistically speaking, Unreal Engine 5 has something called Lumen, which is going to take light refraction to a whole nother level, right? So if it's noon and it's high sun in the middle of the sky, that sun is beating down. But Lumen is making sure that, again, it's not taking up all that space, it's not taking up all that memory, but it's making light look realistic. So if you see, and this is where nanite and lumen come into play, right? So like if you see light hitting a certain rock that doesn't have a flat surface, that light is bouncing off in all the directions that the rock is going to let it do it. At the same time, it's taking into consideration the time of day that's happening. So that sun is going further and further down the sky, and that light is refracting at different levels. So it's not taking up more space, but you're seeing the light in the way that it's going change realistically.
That's what.
And it's so smooth because, again, you're not taking up space, you're not taking up memory. So your RAM, your processor doesn't need to run all that extra power. You're literally just getting raw graphics at the same memory that you had with Unreal Engine 4, if not less. So that'll make next gen graphics truly next gen. That also plays into part two. You also have to think, what does that mean for loading screens? I mean, they're already non-existent pretty much for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Which
But with Unreal Engine,
speaking
Go
of
ahead.
loading screens, I'm sorry to deviate here, but speaking of loading screens, I can't wait till GTA 5 comes out on PS5 because those loading screens are absolutely atrocious. Go ahead.
absolutely, yeah, I know what you mean.
Wow, go
But
ahead.
but that's one of the things, and to kind of add to that a little excitement for the love of gaming, Unreal Engine 5. There is a demo on PlayStation 5. There's a couple. I know that everybody's like, yeah, you can get the Matrix game. No, I'm talking about this is a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah.
And you'll see it explains everything because you'll be able to play it and it explains it while you play it. I can't remember the name of it. It's a game where you're in a cave and it's explaining every aspect of Unreal Engine 5. Not to mention they also have it for the PC on Epic Games. So if you wanted to go check it out, you can go check it out there. Also, with that being said, the love of gaming, Grand Theft Auto 6 or the next installment has been confirmed
Yes, it has.
that it's in the works.
Ooh.
Now,
yeah.
obviously, that means that it's coming out with Unreal Engine 5 because if they're just starting it now, they want to make sure that you are realistically being able to do 99% of the things that Unreal Engine 5 will give you the capabilities of doing. I'm sorry if I stole your thunder, but
this video is not sponsored by Unreal Engine, but it should be.
listen.
No, but seriously. So another thing I did want to talk about. First off, phenomenal way to break that down. It was explaining things that I didn't even know.
loved it. That explained it to me. Yeah, I was just about to say the same.
Yeah. Phenomenal job.
That was great. You should be a teacher.
So there you go. There's your calling. All right. So for me, I wanted to talk about the industry and where we find our industry, because it's our industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
At currently with some of the things that's been going on. you see the arms race between Microsoft and Sony. That's getting at an all-time high, right? But that's been going on for a little while now, right? Nintendo's still chipping away, doing their thing.
Sony station confirmed. Sony station confirmed.
You know, so
Playbox. Sorry, Playbox.
Playbox.
You know, they coming out with something in like 15 years. They coming out with a merge system.
Yeah, I bet. All right, just like that. You're still waiting on that Nintendo PlayStation, which
of course
they're seeming to collab a lot more now. Nintendo.
I mean, hey, they're all, the beautiful thing about it, like all jokes aside, like all the companies are starting to work together. Like there are no gamer wars anymore. It's just
to an extent, right? I honestly, I feel like it's the Cold War of gaming.
It's just between, yeah, that's what it is.
It's really the Cold War of gaming. It's like on the surface, because it's no secret that Nintendo and Microsoft was always, or for a while, they were okay with having the conversation of cross-play. And Sony was not having it for the longest time. Right, because as a company, I can only imagine what would the benefit to you be. Right? So you have to think about that.
You know,
right?
it's money. They had to think about money.
Exactly. So so to talk about the industry that we find ourselves in, right, and to talk about the acquisitions that have recently occurred, right, I find myself nervous. Yes, I said that. Right. And before the pitchforks come out, just let me give myself a chance to explain. Right. So I find myself nervous because I kind of seen this happen prior to, but not with systems. And I like to tap into my sports gaming community here, right? So we seen it with Madden, right? So if you look at Metacritic right now, the highest rated Maddens, right, for user rated Maddens are all prior to them getting exclusive rights to the NFL. Their best game. So that tells me that their best games happened before they got exclusive rights to the NFL. Right? Look at NBA 2K, right? Some of their best games was when NBA Live was around.
Ooh.
Hold on for just 1 second. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Dogs did some things.
Oh. Well, to also caveat on that too, like a lot of people don't realize, like, games only do as successful.
Sorry about that, the dogs.
It's okay. Games only do as successful as the audience allows it to do. You know, so
that's true.
So it's not.
It's a community, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It could be the best game ever to me, but as a whole, if 98% of the community says, "Yo, this game is trash," it doesn't matter how.
Play it.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just filling in for you because you had to take care of something.
Yeah, I got you. So for me, the issue I have being a part of those communities with Madden and the 2Ks, right, is that competition breeds excellence. Right? Would Michael Phelps be as great if he had no one to swim against?
No.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
He'll just be another. He'll just be another dude swimming in a pool, right? So with that being said, and that mindset, right, it gets down a slippery slope. I've never seen, and this is just me, I've never seen Microsoft do what Microsoft is doing. Like they're bucking the norm, which is fine. It's business, right? Because what you normally see is a developer get bought, right? So Sony bought the developer that made Returnal, right? Okay, cool, right? Or you'll see some other place gets added to Nintendo Studios, or however it goes, right? But either way, you buy developers, right? They're buying publishers. Like, think about that for a second, right? In one fell swoop, they're buying publishers. That is a multitude of studios, titles, in games, right?
Well, so and you also have to think of it like this too, right? Developers can develop all they want, but that don't mean anything if the publishers don't release it.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense in an aspect of business.
Yes, it makes perfect sense in an aspect of business,
It's
but it's also
long-term
scary.
business acquisitions, you know, and how does it affect the gaming community
Down
the line?
the landscape of gaming, right, changes when you start purchasing publishers, and publishers are to be bought.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
that's
a
like
monopoly, you know.
it becomes down that road where it can become. Are they a monopoly right now? No.
Yeah.
Could they become one? Maybe.
And for those of y'all that don't understand what we're saying, right? To put it in perspective, it's like imagine Disney purchases Man versus Wild versus the show itself,
already.
right?
Yeah, the show itself, which I got a perfect. Yep.
And then NBC says, you know what? We're just gonna buy the whole entire Discovery Channel. Like,
exactly.
That's it.
Or
You know?
for my music folks out there, if it's as if Sony Music went and bought Universal. Right? When you're talking about, okay, for people that love music, right, or rap heads or whatever, you're not talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Sony will go out and buy, or Nintendo will go out and buy, or Sega when they were big, right? As far as a console,
Gaming,
and not a
yeah.
not a studio.
they're still a good
They're still
studio.
big. They're still
Yeah.
big, but not in the same sense. Like when they were still console makers, right? They would go out and buy, like, if we're talking about music, they'll go out and buy Young Money, Cash Money, you know what I'm saying? Records, No Limit Records, right? But to buy the people that back them is what just happened, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so what you saw is Bethesda, right? And Bethesda, Microsoft bought them, right? And they own your Fallouts, you know what I'm saying? And well, actually, they not bought Bethesda. Who did they buy?
They did buy Bethesda. They bought.
They
Bethesda.
did, but what's the? I can't think of. No. Blizzard Activision is what they bought recently, but it's another one. And for some reason, I can't think of the name of the actual public, like the, like the publisher right now is actually.
I think we're all getting some brain farts.
Yeah, well, so like with people don't understand this, right? Listen, Bethesda is bigger than what you think it is. I mean, it's not just Fallout. It's not just Elder Scrolls. I mean, there's so many
indie
games.
developers attached to them.
You got Dishonored.
Woo, man!
You know what I'm
when
saying?
I tell you, yeah, it's like a lot.
It is a lot, right? And so I see that Sony fired back, but Sony fired back doing what traditional gaming companies like Sony does, which they bought a developer, right? Which was a hell of a developer.
They're independent completely, so they can develop and publish on their own.
That's
smart.
true. That is true. But they're not. But they're not Activision Blizzard.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no, I agree. That would be like I put it in perspective of I imagine this whole like console acquisition war to be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, Xbox is like, I'm going to go ahead and buy Young Money. And Sony's over here like, you know what? I'm going to go get the island boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on a different note too, I did some research on that Sony acquisition. Yeah. And yes, they are saying that they're avidly looking to make their Bungie's media into franchises of movies and stuff.
It makes the perfect sense. It's the perfect marriage.
But if you think about it, right? If you look at it logistically, right, and economically, Sony purchased Bungie literally days after Bungie announced that there were over 1 million pre-orders of their new DLC.
Yeah, so I think Sony approached things much like Microsoft is approaching things differently. So meaning that Microsoft is looking at, I don't care if you buy an Xbox. Right? I think ultimately what Microsoft would love to see, right, is that you could get Xbox Game Pass on a PlayStation. Ultimately, right? I don't know if that will ever happen, but if I don't think there will be, they would fight that. They would like that. Why? Microsoft is a software company, right? All they care about is software, right? They got into the hardware stuff when it came down to fighting Sony on the console wars. But what you're starting to see is a full circle where they're trying to get back to software. So listen to some of the taglines they have. Like you could play Xbox games anywhere, anytime, on any platform, right? You know, like those are the things that they want to do. They want to be able to lock you into an ecosystem and not necessarily care about what hardware you're playing. Right, so that way they still win. Because then, if you do it that way, listen to me. If you do it that way, right, you don't care about console sales.
You do, in an aspect of you don't want to lose out on what you're making. You don't want to be the only company that's making games and making money off of games, but you don't have a console to do it with, right? So, like, I can almost guarantee the Xbox Series S is not as popular as the X. Statistically speaking, I haven't looked into it, right? But what I have looked into is, like I was telling y'all before, I saw that TikTok with that guy explaining how Microsoft can do these acquisitions and make games exclusive to Game Pass at a loss, right? They don't need you to buy the game. They just need you to buy Game Pass. And they can do it at a loss because, you know, what is Microsoft? They have literally the #1 operating system for computers globally. They have hardware. They have other programs. Most corporations use Microsoft Office. How important is that? The military uses Microsoft Office because of Outlook itself. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that I looked into, right? So Microsoft doesn't care how well they do on console sales. They still care that they sell them, but they don't care because they can sell it at a loss and make up for it in other ways. Sony, yeah, they have Sony Pictures. Yeah, they have Sony technology. They have Sony
Music,
cameras, audio, TVs. That's great. But it's not Microsoft, right? Microsoft is one of the biggest tech companies in the world, you know? So if we're looking at it statistically speaking, Microsoft can do whatever they want and still make a profit off of it. It's like with Sony, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make moves to be lucrative with each move that they're making. The way that Microsoft is doing it, they're making moves to make sure that nobody else is lucrative. There's a whole difference to their game plan, right?
Yeah.
So
it's business, you know.
It is. I just think that personally, I think Microsoft's end goal is software. Why would I ever you just said, right? They don't need to sell consoles to make money, right? Then why bother? You have to sell
it's Xbox. It's Xbox.
No,
it's the love of gaming.
Listen. You want them to care, right? But listen to what I'm saying, right? Realistically, right? You sell consoles at a loss for so many years until it turns a profit, right? Until it catches up. So what if you had a plan where you never had to sell a console for a loss?
I mean, I get it.
Right. So what if I could continue to be Xbox, right? I'm gonna sell you this PC, right? That's running our operating system, right? Now you could play those same games on your phone. You can play those same games on a laptop, on your desktop.
This is where I kind of get into a different. Sometimes people don't want a computer. Sometimes people don't want a smartphone. I mean,
who doesn't have a smartphone?
But who wants to play it on a small phone? If I'm playing Gears of War 5 and I want to kill some bodies, I don't want to see it on a 6.9-inch screen. I want to see that on a 69-inch screen.
That's cool. So you could hook up your PC.
I don't want to spend that much. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting good graphics on a $500 console that is similar to a $1,500 PC. What am I going to spend it on? You get what I'm saying? Maybe I don't like mouse and keyboard.
Well, you don't have to, as we both know, use a
I
mouse
get
and
it. I get
keyboard to
it.
be on a PC.
I
But
know.
I
I
understand
know.
that,
Yeah.
right? I definitely understand that. I'm just saying, if I could push you my product on whatever you're playing, it don't matter. Like if I could eventually, if you want to be on a Nintendo Switch, cool. I don't care. You're still paying my Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you can literally do it like a Netflix, where it's 20. You saw Netflix is raising their price in March to like $20 a month.
They've been raising it for the past
I
10
know that.
years.
And I know that. But where you gonna go?
I mean, there's so many other streaming softwares now.
You're right.
Streaming
You're
companies.
completely right, and none
know
of them
what
are
I'm
as good
saying?
as Netflix.
Which
one?
Listen, I'll accept the fact that the Netflix exclusive TV shows are fire.
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
also which, and
fire.
I have. Which one are you going to pick that's better than Netflix?
I wasn't gonna pick any. I was gonna say if you know, like, and you know, we've all been there where we've been struggling for a month and your Netflix
course.
gets put on hold, so you got to go watch Hulu. Hulu's got some good shit too, but the
It does.
problem is Netflix has made such a name for themselves.
Netflix has so much content, and they look at
It's
I you know what
amazing.
I applaud? I applaud the real MVPs over at Netflix are those people who watch data trends, right? Because
Absolutely,
because
yes.
because look, and no one ever talks about those guys and girls, right? But if you look at them, right, as soon as like people start getting popularity and like it started showing popularity in anime, look at what Netflix did.
Made anime.
Right.
And on top of that, Disney Plus did the same thing. They were fucking smart. They did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they do anime, I mean, they've had Studio Ghibli, let's be
Yeah,
realistic.
yeah.
But if we're being super realistic, they've started putting anime in other franchises that they've acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Visions is hands down one of the most beautifully drawn, animated, and scripted series
Mm-hmm.
on a cartoon level.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mhm.
Now, if we're going to talk about animated, obviously Star Wars Rebels is probably the best animation. Star Wars. But Visions really set the standard and gave us what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
Just like how, remember when the Matrix Revolutions came out and then they had that box set, then you had the Animatrix?
Yeah.
They
I remember
literally that was so flawless. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but see, these are things that on a developer, publisher, creator level, people are taking into consideration. Media in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's so influential. It is so life changing, right? The fact that I mean, look at Sonic, right? Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. We as a community, a video game community, cyber bullied a studio developer into fixing what Sonic looked like.
Yeah.
There is no other term for that. We
Yeah.
cyber bullied them into creating Sonic the way that we wanted them to.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm so glad that they did. And they did the numbers that they needed to do a sequel.
Yeah.
It was
Because of
only
that.
fair that we provided that for them, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they literally spent millions redoing it. And I'm so glad that they did. But that's how strong social media and technology is as a platform, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So for us to sit here and say, you know, that you know, Netflix is smart. Of course they're smart. They've got people. I mean, I could go on there, not saying that they don't deserve their credit. I think, personally speaking, I know that you think that it's the people, you know, doing the data mining, figuring out what's going on right now. I think it's the people that are writing the scripts. People that are writing scripts over at Netflix are doing phenomenal. I mean, look at Squid Games.
Well, yeah. One,
It's
you also have to
it's-
look at this. Squid Games was not made for Netflix. It was something that was pitched to companies for years, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
I know.
Netflix just picked it up. So you have to have, like, look at all the stuff that Netflix picks up. Look at the stuff that they take a risk on. Netflix is not afraid to take a risk, right?
Absolutely not.
And I love them for that, right? Netflix. I remember when Netflix first started, you had to go get
Get the
mailed.
DVDs
Yeah, the DVDs and
in the
stuff like
mail,
that in
yep.
the mails and stuff like that. Now look at where they are, right?
It's digital. I remember when they introduced the digital. That
Yep.
was like mind blowing. But their library was so small,
Exactly.
it was hard to enjoy it.
Exactly. Look at them now. So
yeah.
But I equate that to the Xbox Game Pass, right? So if you make it to where, like for instance, I don't own an Xbox, but I have an Xbox account. Right, you know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yeah, you have it on your PC.
I haven't owned an Xbox. I haven't had an Xbox since someone gifted me their extra Xbox on Xbox 360. Right, that's the last time I had an Xbox.
Yeah.
And that was the first console I took apart and kind of played around with.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I was
Yeah.
able to fix like the drive and all this other stuff, any issues that I had. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, this is super cool, right? So, but yeah, like. Think about the power of Game Pass. Now, to be fair, and people always forget this, PlayStation has an app that they could turn into that as well, which is PlayStation Now, right? I know that there's a lot of offerings on PlayStation Now. I like PlayStation Now. It's $60 for a year.
Well,
Right.
and then so a lot of people don't realize this either. You also have remote play for PlayStation.
You do. I've
So-
used it on the PC.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah. So and you could play PlayStation Now on the PC. Right. There's a PlayStation Now app. You get it there's a lot of things that are similar to, like, I know some people going to be like, oh, I really don't care about this game, but I'm just trying to show you where it could go. Like the Grand Theft Auto Vice City Remastered is on PlayStation Now, and I get it. It had a rough start, right? But what I am saying is, look at the potential of what PlayStation Now can be. It could be the same thing as Game Pass, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I know they talked about the PlayStation Plus having a tiered system to where you could have like a premium PlayStation Plus that includes Crunchyroll and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential. It's interesting to see what happens. I just don't want this Cold War to become a monopoly on our industry.
I don't think it will be. And here's my thought, right? So I think Sony's got something in the vault hidden away that only like 3 pairs of eyes have seen that they're working on.
I
The
mean,
only reason I say this is because Sony is now, there's a game coming to Nintendo that's a Sony game, a Sony publisher.
I talked about briefly, like I said, a sentence or two about it, but you're starting to see a Nintendo PlayStation collab,
Yes.
right?
And I think
that's super scary, because I remember I posted in our Discord chat. I don't know if y'all remember, right? I posted it a few days ago, and it was a picture that had the Nintendo Online X PlayStation Plus,
yes,
or PlayStation,
yes.
right?
Yep.
That
I was
That's
literally
scary.
having this conversation.
Could
I
you
was having this
imagine? Could you
conversation.
imagine Pokemon on a PS5?
Could you imagine
Oh,
God of War
man.
on a Switch?
No, because I don't think it could work.
No.
I absolutely
wouldn't
could.
be
Wait,
good.
the only reason,
Absolutely could.
because if you
Well,
look at
actually, no,
if you
'cause
look
you
at
can play
graphically
Apex. You can
intensive
play
games on
Apex
the
on the
Switch,
Switch.
they're generally do terrible.
Name one.
Let's see, what's the first person shooter? Wolfenstein wasn't great on the Switch.
But that's because that's how it was made, right? So like if you're looking at it from a hardware perspective, yeah, that's going to do trash. But imagine if, okay, so now stay with me here. Imagine if the Switch ends up getting like some kind of data service for itself, right? So like Nintendo Online Plus includes cellular plan, unlimited data for an extra $15 a month. Now you can take that bitch anywhere and play any game. And now on top of that, you can play PS Now. Not even have to download the game. You can stream it.
Yeah, that works, and that's perfect, right? It's just a hardware issue, I think. They got to get a better
Not
hardware.
If you're streaming it. Not if you're streaming it. See, if you're streaming it, it takes a quarter of what you need than if it were loaded onto the game.
So
the
my
console
question is
itself.
this: how come when I load up PlayStation Now and they tell you if you want a better, smoother game, download it? They tell you to download the game,
Absolutely.
right? So I was streaming it before. I have to
Mhm.
download it now, right? Once
Yeah.
you download it, you're not streaming it anymore. So my question is, it has to be a hardware thing. Like, I get it. Nintendo does phenomenal work. I try to give people flowers while they yet live, right? So they do phenomenal work. They got some amazing games, some amazing IPs, right? But it's just, and this is their niche. They always have less hardware, so it doesn't cost people as much, and they do more with less. They're literally the Marine Corps of the video game world, right? They do more with less, right?
Listen,
Right? You know.
that was such a good analogy. I just pooped myself.
You know, so and they pride themselves on that, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine, right? But there's certain things they have to step up, right? I think the next Nintendo console, you're going to be completely right, because that hardware, wherever they have, is going to be just below like a PS5 level, and it's going to work. Right, you know what I'm saying, or
That's
whatever
what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna be PS4 level hardware, but I think the whole aspect, you have to understand, the Wii was like breakthrough, right? Motion controllers.
It
What?
was phenomenal on a casual level.
And
Casuals
then,
came
but
out
you
of
also-
nowhere.
But you also have to think too. They came out with the Wii,
Yeah.
and then they came out with the Switch Junior, which was the Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U did not do that well.
At all, because nobody was ready for it.
Okay.
Nobody was ready for it.
So what? Okay. So what did the Wii? So you had the Wii, which was revolutionary for casuals,
Absolutely.
right? Absolutely, bar none. Can't argue there. The Wii U. What did the Wii U do that was so phenomenal? Because I think it alienated its casual audience, right?
Absolutely not.
Wait,
Absolutely
listen what
not.
I'm saying.
If
Wait,
I wanted to-
let me say.
Go ahead.
Let me
Go
finish,
ahead.
let me finish.
Go ahead.
Right. So I feel like it did, in the sense of it made them have to think too much. So you come out with this tablet, right? That you be like, hey, this is the Wii U, right? You took away their simple motion controls, and you infused a hardcore aspect to that system, right? But but the hardcore gamers, right, wasn't behind you. So that's why I think their single point of failure was. That's just my opinion.
I get it, but think of it this way, right? It was the first gaming console, if you're watching or playing on TV, and say your family needed the TV because they wanted to watch the football game, you can transfer it to the tablet and continue playing.
I mean, you could
Not only
technically
that-
you could do that with the PS Vita.
Well, see,
People forget about the Vita.
but a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah,
about the
I know,
Vita
yeah,
or
no,
the
a lot of
PSP,
people didn't
You know
know,
what I mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like these are things that a lot of people don't think about.
They made it
But, like,
mainstream.
here's my biggest thing, right? So, like, the Wii U really industrialized, or I guess revolutionized, the whole aspect of portable gaming. Obviously, aside from like the Game Boy itself, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about
Touche.
like console portable gaming, right? So, like, you've got Mario Party. I can't remember what number. I think it was 7. Mario Party, Bowser's Revenge, right? On the Wii U. You could have up to 8 people or 6. I think it was 6 people. 6 people? 6 people. 5 normal characters and 1 Bowser. 5 characters played with the Wii controllers, and Bowser was on the tablet. You controlled every aspect of Bowser on the tablet. If you needed to do certain things, if you needed to kill people, you could draw on the tablet. You could put traps with the tablet. Yo, it was fire.
Yeah,
Absolute fire.
And I think that's the reason why it didn't sell well.
On top of that, you also had Wii Sports on the Wii U, right? So, like, obviously, the only game you could really use it where it like mattered was golf. Literally, you put the tablet down, you look down, you see the golf ball, and you swing the golf club.
It's dope.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
think it
saying it's not.
revolutionized. I think it revolutionized the mobile console gaming aspect of gaming, and I think that's where the Switch came from. Now, if we're going to talk about the next Switch, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to get, I feel like Sony and Nintendo are going to like, not merge, but they're going to partner up for an announcement where as soon as they announce, the new Switch or the new console, right? It's going to be like, oh, everybody that buys the new Switch gets a month free of PlayStation,
I
Game
mean,
Pass.
it would be kind of cool
it'll be
if
a longer term payoff.
yeah, I
for
mean,
all the
Absolutely.
stuff they're doing now.
it would be kind of cool to have so you say it revolutionized the mobile, right, gaming, and I don't think so per se. And the reason why I say that is because the only revolution that you see, it didn't revolutionize across. It's tough. I don't think that the Wii U revolutionized gaming across the industry. I think the Switch did. Right?
Okay.
Okay, you can make an argument. So the Wii U led to the Switch, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying anything about that, right? The Switch is what revolutionized the gaming industry. And not in the sense that you would think, because the two biggest consoles right now, like aren't doing anything like the Switch. Where it did revolutionize the gaming industry is the PC world, which no one probably foresaw that to happen. No one thought that the Switch would revolutionize the PC world. And why do I say that? Why would you say that? That's crazy. I don't think the Switch had anything to do with the PC world, right? Yes, it did, because then you got the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck came out or is coming out, right?
Yeah.
Alienware came out with a prototype portable PC that you
I
can
saw
hold in
that.
a handheld form, right? I'm on the pre-order list for the Steam Deck. I think it's going to be
That Steam
absolutely
Deck is-
amazing, right?
Absolutely.
But again, right? That's where it revolutionized, because you started seeing people start putting a PC in a form factor that we never seen before. So, but then that bears the question for Nintendo, what's next? Because you almost can't come out with a Switch 2, in my opinion, right? It's hard.
I don't think you can either.
You know what I'm saying? Especially, you revolutionized it. You did a fantastic job. Thank you, Nintendo, right? But I don't know. Nintendo always comes out with some crazy stuff and throws me
The
off.
only look from a video gaming geek perspective, the only thing I could see them doing is making a Switch 2 where the top of the Switch is a projector.
So you're basically making a sidekick, right? It's like you want to make a sidekick. The only thing they can do is reach back in the bag and make sidekicks.
T-Mobile, bring that back out, please. By the way,
That's the only
mean,
thing. The only way you go one up yourself right now is to make a sidekick.
yep, fuck it. Just quit the video game industry, make a new phone. It's a Sidekick smartphone. I'm down.
Oh my God! You can make phone calls to your people in the party. I love it.
Listen.
Right? I love it.
I'll tell you what. I used my Sidekick for MySpace all the time.
Boy, MySpace was popping.
Yeah.
Right? Yo, you talk
MySpace,
about
it
you
was
hear
like, that was before
that-
apps were a thing.
that was my introduction to coding.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was all of
absolutely.
us.
Like
Everybody was a
MySpace had
master
us.
web
Think
developer
about that.
back then,
Us.
you know what I mean?
How many times did you
Ready
watch
to do six-figure careers?
exactly? How many
Yeah.
times did you look at source code to figure out why your background was messing up?
Absolutely.
Right?
Or
Yo,
or
and
when
it's-
we would
it's a
put a
combo.
song on our profile
Oh,
page that nobody
yeah.
could pause.
Exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? You out
Yeah.
here,
That's
you know,
just wickedness.
picking your top 8.
Tom-
Why did I make your
Tom
top
really,
8?
Tom really had us out here working on computers. I'm telling
Exactly.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Tom was really our friend.
Yeah,
Right?
he really was.
He was.
So you know what I'm
But,
saying?
Hey boys,
You
I hate to cut this short. It's 11:30 by me,
do
and
your thing.
I gotta
big
wake
dog.
up for 3 a.m.
Oof.
I will be tuned in. Yeah.
Make some business
I gotta
moves.
start doing some trades. Yeah.
What you got to do?
Yeah.
I got some work to do, but I hope that we'll be back tuned in for the next episode, whenever
Absolutely.
that is.
For sure.
Every
And,
Sunday, bro. You know this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully my weekends will be freed up.
Yep.
Work schedule changed up a bit.
Do what is best for
drastically,
you,
so
man. Do what's best for you.
We
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 got
will
you.
be tuned back in next week, right? So
All right, double D. We
thank
got
you
you.
for the invite. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
As
And
always,
for the love of gaming, I will be tuned in still. So
my dog.
All right, broski.
we will we'll pick up next time. Thank you
All right.
guys.
Thank you, bro.
On that
Appreciate it.
segue, have a good one. Be safe. Happy Black
Same
History
to you
Month,
guys.
and sleep
Same
well,
to
bros.
you guys. You too. You guys be safe.
All right,
Say hi to
bro.
the families for me.
For sure.
Later.
Later.
Now, going back to the gaming aspect of everything, right?
Yeah.
So we know Nintendo is Nintendo has a demographic that they've always tended to, right?
Correct.
I mean, if you look at it, Animal Crossing, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, everything, Pikmin, you know what I mean? The Rabbids, everything
that.
Nintendo is like, there's always that same audience. Now, with that being said, there are a lot of games coming out. I don't know on Nintendo's side, but I do know that there are a lot of games coming out on Xbox and PlayStation, and it's just like mind-blowing. And I think we should get into that for the love of God.
Definitely. But before we get into that, I do want to say one thing, right? One thing I'll be excited about is if Nintendo and PlayStation does a collab, right? Is if they could bring Smash Bros, right, to PlayStation 5. But what makes this even better is if they could do a Smash Bros X PlayStation All-Stars smash up where it's everybody. PlayStation All-Stars was so underrated. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's literally only PlayStation exclusive characters.
But it was phenomenal. I love that game.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I was a
I get
problem
it.
at that
You know what
game.
I'm saying?
Right? General Raddick, right? Across the screen sniping people. Stop playing with me. You're not getting close.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I get it. And like, I think that's the other cool thing is like, so how they have the amiibos, right? What if they brought that over to PlayStation?
That would be crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not amiibos per se.
But yeah, something like.
But something similar to, where it's like, I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Like I don't. Yeah, I'm brain farting right now. I can't think of anything special. But that would be amazing. Or even like a Mario Party X. Something like that over to PlayStation. Because Mario Party was fire.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously that wouldn't be as big of a deal as Super Smash Brothers. I mean, Super Smash Brothers, if you brought it over to PlayStation, you're going to have people saying, okay, what about fatalities? I want Sonic to do a double dash on Mario. Like, okay. Okay. Like, are we really going to do this right now? But, no, I think it's like a really good thing as far as PlayStation and Nintendo. If they do that, that would be a really good thing. Not because we don't want Microsoft to be a monopoly, but because it should have been like that from the get-go. Yeah, you got exclusives, but it'd be really nice to just cross them over every once in a while.
It would be. It definitely would be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. Hopefully something comes up to it like that. I doubt it will, but hey, one can hope.
I mean,
right?
listen, we didn't think that we'd be in virtual reality either. So
I mean, yeah, the one can hope, right? But yeah, there's some phenomenal games that's coming out this year. Is there any? And first off, in the month of February alone, there's some games that coming out that I'm super excited about. I know whatchamacallit just came out, Sifu.
So yeah, Sifu.
Yeah, I want to get
Sifu.
that.
Listen,
IGN
and it's at a great price too. It's not a bad price.
Yeah,
it's what, $40?
Something like that. And IGN just reviewed it. They gave it a 9 out of 10.
It's a really good. I was watching videos on it. It is really good. I love the mechanics. I love the art. It's nice.
And if you look at the studio behind it, what's the studio name? Give me a second, because I wanted to. The funny part is, I wanted their first game, and never got into it because
it says Slow Clap.
No, not Slow Clap. It's another one.
Yeah, that's what it says. It's Slow Clap. Clap.
What is it?
Slow Clap. That's the studio. I'm looking at it right now. Sifu.
Hold on, man.
We are excited to reveal our new project, Sifu, coming on PS4, PS5, and PC in 2021.
Give me a second. I know.
See, and that's crazy. The fact that it's not available on Xbox, but it's available on PC.
Well, PlayStation's starting to push more PC.
Which makes sense because they put God of War on PC too. Now, while you're looking up whatever you need to
It's
look up as well,
okay. Absolver's developer, Slow Clap. I knew it was Slow Clap, but I was trying to think of the name.
bigger picture.
Yeah, I was
gotcha.
trying to think of the name. So Absolver, I was super excited about that game, Absolver, right? And I wanted it so
Yes.
bad, and I was like, "Yo,
Mhm.
MMO kung fu game? Like, come on, stop playing with me, right?"
Yeah.
And then this is from the same people, right? So I already knew artistically it was going to be a beautiful game, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm excited to get my hands on it personally. You know what I'm saying? I can't personally wait to get my hands on it.
I think so as well. And see, Absolver is also got Devolver Digital, which is another great company.
Oh yeah, we talked about
They're
them a couple
amazing.
times.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Every time you bring them up, it's never a bad game.
Never.
Never. But yeah, that's look, seafood, and that's on the low end of things, right? So like we're talking about this is what, an indie game considerably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
That's-
I would consider it.
It's not quite there at mainstream yet, but it's kind of like it's got a huge following. Now, mind
yeah.
you, we've got other games coming out this month.
Oh
like,
my god.
what was that the game that just came out? Dying Light 2
Dying Light
just
2,
came out.
which it had a lot of bugs. I think I
absolutely.
think it's crazy because I think they just did their patch, their day one patch, and I think it like addressed like something crazy, like 200 bugs.
Yeah,
That's
which
wild.
is awesome. That's literally the opposite of what Cyberpunk's company did.
I mean, yeah, but
So-
I mean,
so-
you would want to release without them.
Well, I mean, no, I get it. You know, and I've been hearing so many great things about Dying Light 2. I mean, I think the greatest thing about Dying Light 2 is the fact that Rosario Dawson is in it. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I in cahoots or in partner with or advocating or even a partner with her. She is by far the biggest blessing on this earth. She has had her hand in absolutely everything from movies to music to shows to video games
Talk
to
about it.
everything. And every time I see her in anything that she does, she is an absolute blessing.
Wow,
Everything.
that's the highest of praises.
Everything. Like, look, she was in the Netflix series. She was in the Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. She's in the video game. She was in Jay and Silent Bob. She
Portfolio
was in
going
Clerks.
crazy.
Listen, she was in the Broadway production, not Broadway, but she was in Rent. She's in everything, and the woman knows what she's doing. She never does anything less than A+ in what she does.
So if
I
we're,
mean, like-
if we're looking at the month of February, right? Well, let's
Mhm.
talk about it, right? So first, you got Life is Strange remastered collection coming out, right? The only thing it's not coming out on is like the Switch. It's even coming out on Stadia. It's not coming out on the Switch, all right?
Okay.
We already talked about Dying Light 2,
Mhm.
right? Sifu talked about that,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The Kingdom Hearts series is coming to Switch. So they got Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue. You got Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. And you got Kingdom Hearts 3 all dropping on Switch February 10th.
But that's the it's not just Kingdom Hearts 3, it's the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. So it's literally 3 plus an extra few missions,
Nice.
extra story. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts, for those who missed out on that series, is all coming to Switch February 10th. Phenomenal series to get into, by the way. I never thought that playing with, like, when it first got presented to me, when I first like popped it in years ago. I'm talking about when it first released, right? I'm talking about the original Kingdom Hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's no way I'm playing a game
With Mickey Mouse.
with Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters. Like, Final Fantasy, cool,
Listen.
but Disney,
Yeah.
like, why am I in a party with Daffy? Or not Daffy, with Donald and
Donald
and
and
Goofy.
Goofy.
Right? Like,
Goofy.
I was like, what am I
Absolutely.
doing with my life, right? And then
Listen.
I was like, wait, hold on. This is amazing. Right?
It was, yo, I'll tell you what, I played the first game probably like 12 times.
Yeah.
Sora is hands down one of the greatest main characters in a video game. Character wise, and the way that he unfolded. Because not only did you have Sora, but remember in the second one, Sora's nobody.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
What was his nobody's name? Damn. Oh my God.
I'm drawing a blank. Hold on, we gotta look this up.
It was Sora and Roxas, or not Roxas. Sora's nobody. What was his nobody's called? Roxas. Man, I'm fucking good. Listen, Roxas. Man, he was badass too. It was like, listen, when you didn't realize, and the plot twist when you find out that he was Sora's nobody was like mind blowing. You know what I mean? This was not a kid's game by all means.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And you had Sephiroth as a bad guy. This is
was
not
hard. Yeah, it was
this
tough.
is not a kid's game. You know what I'm saying?
It was phenomenal.
Man, it was good.
So you got that coming to Switch, right?
Mhm.
For my people that especially for nostalgia, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires is coming out in February, right? For those, I never really got into Dynasty Warriors, but I did get into Kessen. I was like into Kessen when Kessen came out, which is essentially the same thing with Lubu and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection coming to Switch.
Mhm.
So what a time to be alive for Switch, right?
Right.
And
This
then
is PlayStation coming over to Switch. I'm telling you, because if you remember, remember, Kingdom Hearts was originally a PlayStation exclusive.
it was, right? So,
So-
we might be seeing something here, right?
Mhm.
I'm excited about King of Fighters. King of Fighters is coming out. I know that tickles my fighting game fancy. So King of Fighters is coming out. I thought that it's been a great few years for fighting fans, right? So the Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter from when it was released versus to what it is now is completely night and day. When Street Fighter first released, I was like, what are they doing? Right? It felt like a demo. Right? Like it was no story.
Yeah.
You only had a handful of characters. And I was nervous because I grew up on Street Fighter. I said, this might be it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Tekken 7 was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a good few years for fighting games. And then of course, what was it last year? What is it that came out? Goodness, he got the vampire dude with the dreads and the oh my god, I can't think of it. It's a fighting game. Y'all gonna make me turn on my PS5. I can't think of it right now. Guilty Gear. Right, so Guilty
I've
Gear.
never heard of it. See?
Wow, yeah, Guilty Gear.
Learn something new.
And Guilty Gear is a classic, right? Like
Yeah,
Guilty Gear has been around. I'm talking like SNK days, and it gets deep. So King of Fighters is also one of those that's been around for a while. So that's coming out, and it's getting a whole next gen like makeover. So it kind of looks like Street Fighter when it first did its rebranding. So I'm excited about that. For my PC guys, strategy guys, Total War 3 Total War Warhammer 3 is coming out.
Which
month.
is like finally coming out because they have Total War Warhammer. What is it? 40,000, something like that. I can't remember. But I mean, we've been waiting for 3 for a while.
Yeah, so you got they had 1 and 2 for Total War, which I'm more of a fan of the Total War series that's more realistic versus Warhammer, but I can't say it's not a dope series. It's really good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So you have that.
Speaking of 3s, right? There's 2 games that I have been absolutely waiting for the 3rd installment of, right?
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Just to kind of before I lose my thought process, right?
All right.
So, still waiting for it, and this is the only time I feel like PlayStation or Xbox or whoever gets ahead on first, whoever comes up with it first or gets it first will get a leg up in the industry.
Okay.
Need for Speed Underground 3. Now, we've all been waiting for it.
Yeah.
All been waiting for it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's,
I mean that would be phenomenal, especially if they put their heart and soul and passion into it.
absolutely, and brought it back, and it's not a remake,
Yeah.
but a sequel from the original story.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying?
Hey, that's a day one buy for me.
Absolutely. That's a
Right.
day one pre-order for me. What you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a I am literally
Yeah.
I will go homeless to pre-order that. Listen to me. So I'm sorry, kids.
Yeah.
And
Daddy's
then
got to
the
get this.
third the other game that I've been looking forward to a third one is Prototype. I know nobody
I
remembers that
I
game.
remember Prototype. I wasn't a fan of Prototype, but again,
I loved it because it brought an aspect of villainy to a different light. And then in the second game, you had to kill the villain that you played in the first game.
oh man,
So it was great. I
Yeah.
loved it.
I just didn't like the gameplay. I wasn't really into
Oh, man.
the
Tripping.
arcadey.
Tripping.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't a good game. It just wasn't for me. All right, you know what I'm saying? That would be a
Yeah.
game I traded. Right, you know.
That is not a day one buy for me.
That is not. That is not. But however, it is a good game, right? You
No,
also
yeah.
have Elden Ring. Everybody's been talking about Elden Ring, right? That's coming out.
Yeah.
That comes out
Yeah.
February 25th, right?
Mhm.
We talked about this is right up your alley, of course. Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. I know that you've been
Yeah.
grinding and waiting for that.
Man, I cannot wait. I cannot.
know,
I will be
I-
streaming that for the first. You know what? I will be streaming that every morning. Until the story campaign is complete. After that, I'll go back to my normal streaming hours, which I will be hearing about later tonight because I forgot to mention this to my girlfriend. But yes, but I will be streaming this every day until the campaign is complete. It won't take long. It'll probably take 2 or 3 days for me, but
I got you.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and it's funny because I was into Destiny when it first came out a little bit,
Mhm.
and then I kind of want to get back into Destiny, but I feel like I'm so far gone that I can't.
you yes and no, right? Yes and no. Like if you're me, right? And if I was just starting back in it, like let's say I never played Destiny 2 and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna pick up the sticks and play Witch Queen. Yeah, I'd probably look at this and be like, yeah, never mind. This is way too much for me to grind.
Yeah, yeah, that grind has got to be crazy.
Man. But I mean, but it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not any worse than World of Warcraft. I mean, people have spent their life's fortune and time on World of Warcraft.
And-
Destiny is not that bad.
And that's I don't play WoW either, right? Because
Yeah,
there's
I'm-
certain I understand what I am, and there's certain
Mm-hmm.
games I know that would be a time suck, and I'll lose reality, and I wouldn't, and I stay away from those games,
2K.
right? 'Cause I
No,
understand.
I'm just
it.
kidding.
So
I'm just kidding.
I'm I'm not doing that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I mean,
Hold on.
Destiny 2: The Witch Queen will probably be the biggest
Oh, my
DLC
God.
expansion
so check
for
this
Destiny.
out. I can't hear anything right now. Give me a second.
What?
My dog, while I wasn't paying attention, chewed through my headphones cord.
Oh shoot.
So
Well then.
yeah, I was like feeling a
Looks like he's going to be making a call to the shelter soon.
my dog chewed through my headphone cord, so hold on. I gotta switch some things so I can actually hear you guys.
Take your time.
That's wild, right? Oh man, that's crazy.
But now you got to get a separate headset.
You said what?
You got to get a separate headset.
Yeah, I gotta get another headset. I ain't got.
Dang.
You
That's
know.
crazy. Yeah.
Give me a second.
Bro.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't really hear you. I'm still looking for it. All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna keep trucking along, right?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Trying to figure it out. Here we go. Built
Yeah.
in. All right. Can you say something real quick?
Yo.
I really still can't hear you. It's whatever.
Yo. You
It's
can't
all
hear me.
good. Hold on. I got an idea. I know why.
So,
I know why.
Why?
I know why.
Mhm.
I'm trying to change the wrong settings here. Give me a second.
so I know that
Oh man. All right, hold on. I'm almost done here. All right. Go ahead and say something, bro.
You're
Yeah, I can hear you. My fault.
you're good.
So, yeah, man. Like I was saying, I know you're excited about that Destiny 2 stuff, right? Elder Ring comes out, Legends, right, comes out. Of course, the
Hmm.
biggest one that comes out, in my opinion, not maybe not to some, but Horizon Forbidden West.
That is literally the biggest PlayStation title coming out this month, hands
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Hands down.
yeah. That right there is super big. That's super huge. And
Huge.
Hedge. And for those who haven't played it, the first one needs to go out and play the first one. Period.
Yes, absolutely.
Phenomenal. And there's other games coming out this year. I know that we're going to talk about. I'm excited for Grand Theft Auto 5 to be on the PS5. Yeah, I know it's still Grand Theft Auto 5. It's not 6, but hey, it's something, right? And I'm just be excited that they cut down on the loading times, and I'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then
Absolutely.
I'm actually excited for Gran Turismo 7 next month. I want to see what they do. If they make it like they did back in like the 90s.
Absolutely. The PS2 days?
Yeah, like
Oof,
like
man,
if they made
listen.
it back like when you had the story mode and you had to go get your driver's license for whatever class vehicle
Yes,
that you
for
wanted
whatever
to get.
class. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
and then you
man,
had
that
to
was
purchase
good.
your first purchase vehicles like a lowly Acura or Honda, and you trying to win
Or a
races with.
sprinter, the Sprinter Trueno will forever scar me for life. The Sprinter
Yeah.
Trueno.
So that's the Gran Turismo I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I want. Of course, and then like next month, and I'm not gonna go deep down this rabbit hole, but Ghostwire Tokyo is gonna be big next month.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that as you start to see these PlayStation exclusives, they're no longer exclusives. They're coming to PC.
Not true. Not true.
Which ones aren't? Well, the only ones that aren't Gran Turismo is, and Ghostwire is coming to PC. That's PS5 and PC.
Listen, we're gonna mention some names right now, and you're probably gonna be like, "Dang, okay." Spider-Man 2 is not gonna be PC.
Okay.
Neither is Wolverine.
Okay, yes, you're right. There are some exclusivities to the PlayStation lineup, but there's
Absolutely.
more PC games coming than ever.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, I get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because when did you ever think that God of War was going to be on PC?
I didn't. I never thought they'd come to PC ever,
Never.
ever.
I'm also excited about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
It's already out.
No, that's not Tiny Tina Wonderlands. That comes out
Yeah,
next month.
listen. Hold on. I could have sworn it came out.
No.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind. I could have. Oh, you know what it is? I downloaded not a version of it, but there's a Epic Games version of it where
Uh-huh.
it's like a board game where they're literally talking about. Ah, crap. Let me look it up really quick. I have it in my inventory here. Here. It is. I will figure it out. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
Okay.
A Wonderland's Tale. Oh, a
Yeah.
Wonderland's one-shot adventure.
Yeah.
It literally plays just like Borderlands.
Uh-huh.
It's not Tiny Tina. It's a small game. It's not a long running game, but it's, got a nice little campaign and it's narrated. So her, Zero, and a couple other characters from Borderlands are playing like D&D, but it's like Pandora. And you're playing what they're saying. So like you come up to a bad guy, and Tiny Tina's like, and I rolled a 6 for agility, and it seems like I did not run out of the way, so I got hurt. And then like you're just getting smashed by this guy. You know what I mean? Like it's a really fun game. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I got that mistaken with Tiny Tina's. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Like I think it's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I like Borderlands. I'm a big Borderlands dude. So.
absolutely. That's one of the few games that has flawless DLC.
Yes. Their DLC, like their
DLC game is strong.
Yeah, it's impeccable.
And it's worth the money that you're paying for.
Absolutely agree.
Because it's never just like game, right? Like it's never just story. You also have guns and abilities, and you know what I'm saying? Like they add so much into the DLC that it's literally a whole nother game. So
exactly. So I'm excited. You know, and then there's some really big months. Like I said, March and February and March are going to be like some pretty big months coming up, right? April's a little dry, May's a little dry, right?
Usually is though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, April you might be excited for because they got the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Nah. Okay. I don't like the Skywalker Saga.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not a fan. If we're gonna be real, I like the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy on Legos. They did a really good job.
Got you. August sees one game. Only one game coming out in August? Saints Row?
Oh yeah, the single titled game. Yes.
Yeah.
Exciting.
November you got Starfield that looks super dope.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And
wait,
then,
you said March? Doesn't have anything really? I'm looking here. So
no,
March
does. March has a lot. February has a lot. May doesn't.
Listen. I gotta bring this up. I have to. Okay. So 3 games coming out in March that I'm super excited for. All right.
Okay.
Aside from Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Okay.
Okay.
Shadow Warrior 3.
All right.
I've been waiting. The first 2 were phenomenal. Have you ever played them?
I haven't.
Listen, if you ever get a chance, play them. They're really good, right? Okay. So like, yeah, Shadow Warrior is a really good series. Story is phenomenal. It's great. The Dawn of Ragnarok DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla sounds like it's gonna be fire.
Yeah. So
Persona 4 Arena Ultimate.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say that. I was like, I bet he's gonna say Persona 4.
You know, you were gonna say it too. Come on now.
Let's
be real.
I'm not arguing with you,
real.
but I was like, yeah, he's got one of them's going to be Persona 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, Persona 4 has to be. That's probably the best JRPG I probably. That might be the best one. And I know, I get it. You know.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. This is what I'll say. I'll say Persona 4 is to me the best JRPG of recent memory. I'll say that. Right, because technically, okay, I get it. Final Fantasies are JRPGs, right? And there's classic, you know what I'm saying, Final Fantasies, of course, right? They've been around forever, right?
Yeah.
But recent memory, I don't know if Final Fantasy's beaten Persona 4 recently.
Final Fantasy has not made a decent game since 10.
Ooh.
In my opinion. I feel like a lot of the Final Fantasy games have slipped.
I
lied.
I like Final Fantasy 13.
I lied.
Was it
the
13?
Final Fantasy 7 remake was phenomenal because I like how they upgraded and changed the fighting mechanics.
Final Fantasies?
Okay.
We'll go with new. We'll stick because that you know.
Okay. So realistically speaking, if we want to be real, Final Fantasy VII Remake is technically a new game because a lot of things changed in the story that didn't
It's not
happen.
Original. It's not new.
Okay.
Right. This is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same. You know what I'm saying?
Well, apparently Final Fantasy Online is apparently huge. Like it's really good.
God.
Everybody's obsessed.
They came back from the dead. At first, it was not what it.
Yeah.
That is
Like a
that is
Fallout
one of, that is
76
one of the
situation?
games. That is one of the games where persistence is key. Where as far as from a developer standpoint, because they didn't just chuck that IP into the trash. It was like, no, we're gonna work on it. And you're
Yeah.
starting to see that more now with
Yeah.
with the ability to update a game well after it's been released.
Yeah.
You're starting to see that, which I'm super grateful for. Of course, in a perfect world, I would want it to be like that day one, but at least there's progress.
True.
I mean, if you think about it, right? If you
Mhm.
started off really well, how do you improve on that, right? You got to set the bar low, right?
I see. That's a bad analogy. That's bad. That's not.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good practice, right? But but if you came out with if you came out with I don't know, like something that was absolutely a masterpiece. What was a 10 out of 10 for you?
On release,
On release, 10 out of 10.
God of War 3.
Okay, God of War 3, right? And then you was like, all right, it's been a month later. It's been a month to 2 months later. Now you have to improve on God of War 3. What would you do?
DLC.
On what though?
The story. Listen. So God of War 3, the reason why I give it a 10 out of 10, right? You start the game off with violence. Kratos woke up and chose violence in the immediate instant of the game, right? You're killing. Let me put this in perspective. You're killing a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing you do in God of War 3. Not to mention, there's no loading screens. The cutscene is the loading screen.
Yeah.
Bro, they did such a phenomenal job. That game was not a game. It was an interactive movie.
You know what was, and you know what was a 10 out of 10 for me?
Go ahead.
Right. And Hellblade Sensuous Sacrifice.
Mm.
Like, if it wasn't a 10 out of 10, it was close to it.
Yeah, I'll give it the same rating.
That game was phenomenal. And not only was it phenomenal for all the video game things, it was phenomenal for in-world applications due to the fact of how it tackled mental health.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I was like, my God. Like anybody that give me a chance to talk, I recommend that game too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't care if you go in there and play it on easy and just enjoy the storyline.
I'll admit, I felt the same way about Alice Madness Returns. That was such a good game that made you see mental health in such a different perspective. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but it's up there. Now, Hellblade, absolute 10 out of 10. I love the protagonist. I love her story. I love her as a person. The game mechanics,
connected.
the story. Absolutely, yeah.
Like I remember playing that game on deployment, and we was in the berth, and there was like 5 or 6 people just sitting there watching it in the dark.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, so another game I would give a 10 out of 10 that gave me the same kind of effect emotionally, the Telltale Games Walking Dead Season 1.
That did it.
I cried so many times in that game, bruh. Like I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm not saying it to seem like a punk, but I cried. not like bald. You know what I mean?
You ain't gotta lie,
just
man.
like a
You
just
let
like
it all
a
out.
you know what I'm saying? Like just like a I need to pause the game right quick.
You teared up, huh? It was a real.
You know what I'm
tearjerker
saying?
for you.
Yeah. It was like, man, it was like, and then it's even crazier is like, spoiler alert for y'all that haven't played it. When Lee got bit, right?
You forever doing spoilers.
Listen, when he got bit, right? Listen. I didn't realize that it was like inevitable, right?
Yeah.
Like, when he first got bit, the first time I ever played it, I was too slow to push the button. So I'm thinking it was my fault. So I'm like, man, nah. So I went back and played it again, and I was ready. And I pressed it. And the motherfucker still got bit. I was pissed. I was so mad, man. Listen.
All right, so
Now-
here's a question for you, and this question, unfortunately, is going to try to wrap up the show with this one, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the name of you know what I'm saying, we're in season 2. This is episode 1 of season 2, right? So what we're doing here is every month is a new season, right? So this one, this episode is called For the Love of Gaming, right? So what's if you had to not play any other genre ever, but you can only play one for the rest of your life, right? What
Okay.
what type of game? What game do you have like the strongest love for, you think?
I mean, I could say thriller, right? And that would cover so many aspects of gaming.
It would.
Games, right? Like, it's not just online, it's not just solo players. Thrillers, right? The reason I like thrillers is because storytelling is so important to me. I don't care how fun it is to play the game. If the story doesn't hook me, I ain't playing it no more.
Yeah.
That's just me. And I need it to be a thriller. I need it to be dark. I need it to be sinister, right?
Yeah.
So like Dead Space, Mass Effect, Destiny, Alan Wake.
Alan Wake's
You know,
amazing. I can't wait for Alan Wake too.
Listen, it's a long time, man. Long time. Long time. They put, you know what they did? They pulled a Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
They came out with Alan Wake, and then 10 years later, they're like, yo, by the way,
Yeah,
here you go.
by the way, we had this.
Because
the
that
whole
was on
time.
360, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And the Xbox One has been out for what, 10 years almost?
It's been a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Alan Wake, these thrillers are phenomenal, right? So, like, you know, the Sherlock Holmes games, just the single player Watch Dogs, the single player thriller games that get you excited, right? The Dark Pictures anthology. That's another game that I could go into right now.
Yeah,
But yes,
man.
if I could get into one genre, it would just be thriller. Just thriller based games. And yeah.
Yeah, just for me, it's just story driven first person, like not first person, but single player story driven games.
I wanted to say that, but I need to play multiplayer too. Because even though Destiny is multiplayer, there's still a story behind it that gets your blood boiling, right? So I get it. But
Yeah, I
what do you
get
mean, like? What do you mean, like solo, like solo?
like
as in-
the Last of Us, like not the online
Ooh,
part,
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Last of
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, not the online parts, but the story driven Metal Gear Solids, right? Like, you know, like I am, like you said, I'm a fiend for story. I need story.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, I do love my online player games. But if I had to give it up, I'll give it all up for a good story. Right?
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
so I just love stories. I need to know what's going on. Why do I care about this character? Right?
Yeah.
What about this character is interesting? You know, things like that. So, but that's just for me. Man, I enjoyed this episode, man. I really did.
Absolutely.
I had
Absolutely.
technical difficulties before, during. I'm probably gonna have them after. I gotta go buy a new headset now because my dog chewed through it. Right.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy this. We spent like the first 40 minutes talking about Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy. Right. So
Yep.
clearly this episode had love and passion all up and down it. Right. So
So I think season 2 we could just call it Season of the Heart.
yeah. Season of love, baby.
Season of emotions, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We wearing our hearts on our sleeves, our HP on our sleeves the entire month of February.
Right? Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
I, maybe drink a little love potions, maybe play a little Catherine. Right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exciting times. I think next episode we're talking about gaming and relationships, right?
Absolutely. Valentine's Day. You have to talk about gaming and relationships. I might even bring my significant other
Oh.
so that she can go ahead and join us for this conversation. Because I feel like it would be important for her to also discuss the situation.
You know, I definitely get you on that. If I can get my webcam and my headphones working, I might see what I can do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Shit,
Yeah, but
but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think she will. But we'll see. Right, but now
well, I will definitely be excited for next episode.
definitely. So as always, I'm with my good friend Ace Boone Coon, the homie Red Mac,
Here,
and of course this, cause my webcam has gone fishing. Right, this is your boy Gamer Next Door, your friendly neighborhood gamer. And I'm signing out from a neighborhood near you. Until next time, catch us next Sunday where we talk about gaming and relationships and all that good stuff. You see the genesis, the beginning for a lot of us. Not all of us. I know you got a tire, you got all this other. But anyway, the genesis. Oh, man, that's a whole nother episode. Y'all saw the last episode. And if you didn't see the last episode, you need to look at the last episode. It was called New Year, Old Me. Right? Well, you watch your boy Gamer Next Door even play some retro games. So
absolutely.
Until next time, next Sunday, stay tuned, subscribe, click that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to press that like button as if your life depended on it. Like you're playing Contra Hardcore, right? And his bullets coming everywhere. That's how much I need you to push that like button, all right? So until next time, gamers and geeks, we love y'all, and y'all have a great week. Peace.
Later.